retro gamers, Antarpa here, retrogamescollector.com. Sorry for the delay, 2 years I think, something like that. Been a long time since I've done a video. Anyway, I'm back. I am honestly back this time. I'm going to do quite a few videos. In fact, I've already shot a video which I'm going to put on after this one. But I wanted this one to be first because I need to clear all the stuff I've got here out of my way because I can't move. I can't move in my room. If you could see the floor here and here, I'm like literally trapped. I'm trapped in between retro stuff. It's a nice place to be, but I've got that much stuff now that I can't actually use it anymore. It's got to the point where I've got nowhere to actually lay anything out and play on it. So it's just sitting around in piles everywhere. So I'm going to have to be selling a lot of stuff. Don't worry, I'm not going out of the scene. I've got so much stuff I could sell a quarter of it and I wouldn't miss it. So I'm finally going to get round to, I'm a bit of a hoarder, as anybody who actually knows me knows quite well. I'm a hoarder, and I don't get rid of things, unfortunately. I should, but I don't. I just keep, even if I don't use them, I'll keep them. Finally going to get rid of stuff. In fact, I've already started, so it is happening this time. But I need to get this video done so I can clear all this lot out of my way, all the stuff I've got out to show you, this pickups video, and then I can just get on with gaming again, finally, I think. It's been so long since I've actually sat down in this room and played a game because A, time, I haven't had a lot of time, and B, I just can't physically do it even if I want to. I'd love to be able to come up here, sit down, grab a console, play on it for 5 minutes, put it away, but I can't because it's just, I've got no disk space to put anything out. I can't get to where I've got to plug stuff in. It's just a nightmare. Anyway, pickups video, I'll get on with it. Get it out of the way and then I can get on with the exciting stuff that I've got in store for the channel. I've got my kids involved now. They will be doing reviews of Dad's old stuff, basically. So that'll be interesting. See what they think of retro games. I know they do love retro games. They love playing them with the dad. And you'll see the first video I'm going to put on after this one will be them playing on my latest acquisition, which I'm not going to tell you about right now because that's at the end of the video. That's my biggest pickup. Thanks to Craig Turner of Turn Arcades, which will give you a bit of a clue as to what it is. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Vectrex. Finally, I've had this Vectrex for 2 years, 3 years, I don't know, a long time. Finally had it recapped and the problem's sorted. So it is now working. In fact, it's not working at the moment. Have I unplugged it by accident? Could be the first casualty of the video. Could be. No? There we go. All working. Yeah, that's been recapped and now working as it should. I've got a multi-cart for it, 72-in-1 multi-cart or something, which isn't in it at the moment, that's why it's playing Mindstorm. But yeah, that's finally working, so I'm happy to be able to get on and play with that. I'll turn that off so it doesn't make a noise, which is what I've done earlier, I think. So I don't know how sensitive my new camera is. If you notice, look, I'm finally in HD, not in Blu-ray vision anymore, so you can actually see me. It's not like looking through frosted glass anymore, I'm glad to say. I'm here in full HD, warts and all. You can see my pimples and things, and all the blemishes and stuff that you probably don't want to see. Yeah, so I'm finally into the 21st century, guys. I'm HD finally. Yeah, that's done. What else have I got? I did have an order for this video, but I've lost it in the mess. It's here somewhere. Piece of paper with the order of my video contents on it. Heaven knows where it is, so I'll just plow on. Games, I've got piles of them to show you. I'll do that in a minute. I'll show you the hardware first so I can shove it out of my way. Schneider C64, C64? CPC 464, sorry, not a C64. C64 is playing in the background there. Monty on the Run, if anybody's recognised it. No, a Schneider CPC 464, which is the continental equivalent of the CPC 464 that we had. Made by Schneider under licence from Amstrad. There you go. Missing a key, which is no great shakes because these are the same keys as on CPC 464, and I've got a few donor CPCs that I can pinch a key off. But apart from the key broken, it's fully working. And that was a steal. Got that off eBay, I do believe, for next to nothing. So quite happy with that. This is a +3 that I already had, but I fitted, if you can see. Can't even see where the blinking. There we go. I fitted a Gotek in place of the disk drive. So there's a Gotek running flash floppy on there. So you basically just shove your USB stick in there. It reads the disk images off it. You can turn the little rotary dial to pick a game. Click it, it just loads it like an Arduino or something, like a TZX Arduino. But using the flash floppy firmware, which is quite cool. All works as it should. More hardware, if I can get to it. Oh man, what a mess. What a mess. I'll be glad to tidy this up. Thomson MO5, bit of an unusual machine over here. French micro. I haven't even booted it up. The odd thing about these is they've got built-in Scots. So it's got a Scott lead on it. Right, I keep looking down there because I've got my monitor down there to show me what I'm showing you, basically, so I can see what you can see. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. I haven't put it on yet because I haven't used it yet because I haven't got a power supply, and it uses an odd power supply, 17 volt power supply, which I haven't got hold of yet. So when I do, I shall finally get around to playing that. I'm going to put these out of my way so I can actually put my feet somewhere. Give me 2 secs. Very professional as usual. See, professionalism hasn't changed. It's still totally and utterly unprofessional. Got a bad back as well. See, I keep going down there. It's with my monitor. This is my camera. I'm so used to using the eyesight on my laptop. So I've got a C64 Mini, or the 64 Mini. Haven't used it yet. Just haven't had time. And I'm not that keen on Commodores anyway, as you might know. An Epson HX20, which some people do consider to be the first proper laptop. 1981, I want to say. I don't know. I think it was 1981 when it came out. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, will you people? I'm sure somebody knows better than me about them. These are all things I've just collected for the sake of collecting. Now, I love Apple, as everybody knows who knows me. And I've managed to bag myself a working power book, early one, you can see. So 145B, the old trackball pre-trackpad. What a chunky little piece this is, quite a weight, and quite thick. A bit like my MacBook Pro, but nevertheless it's what we used back in the day. Now, finally clearing a space. I can't get to the rest of my hardware until I've done some software, so I'm going to do some software first. Meltdown for the Atari 7800, and that's sealed, so that'll go in my collection. I'm gunning for a full set of Atari 7800. Baldies for the Jaguar CD. My mate Steve Dixon kindly got this for me when he saw it in a, I think it was a CEX or something, in West Brom, and he kindly grabbed it for me, being the very nice chap he is. Thanks, Steve. I bought an absolute load of Jaguar stuff, so bear with me while I show you them all. Dragon for the Jag, in mint condition, still in its protector. Where to put everything. Syndicate, again mint condition. Power drive, Double Dragon. That's a surprisingly good game. Really enjoy that on the Jag. Really nice. I know a lot of people don't rate the Jag, but I think it's got some pretty decent games for it. Oopsie. Wolfenstein 3D. Checkered flag. I've got so much stuff because it's simply been that long since I've last done a video. So you've got a couple of years worth of stuff. In fact, I may well have forgotten a lot of the stuff that I've had in the meantime since I did my last video, because I've just had it and put it away, and there's probably stuff in here that's that I've had since, and I forgot that I had it since. So you'll just have to have what I've found. I think this is most of it, but I'm not quite sure. Theme park. Cybermorph. I had that with as a pack-in with my Jag, my box Jag that I got from Telegames years and years ago for 25 quid when they were selling them all off back in the 90s. But of course that doesn't come with the Cybermorph box, it just comes with the cart and the manual inside the big box. So it was nice to actually get finally get a box version of that. Zool 2, another great game. Love that one. Chopper Chops, anybody? Flip Out. It's one I haven't played yet actually, it looks good. It's like a intriguing puzzle game. Classic. Doom for the Jaguar, best version. Don't let anybody tell you any different. And here is another Doom. Look who it's been signed by, kids. The great John Romero himself signed it for me at Revival last year. That's unfortunately I had this one first. This one not being in anywhere near as good condition as the one I got afterwards, and of course I got this one signed, and now I've got a really mint one that isn't signed, but I'll keep both. Is this thing actually in focus? Focus, goddamn you! Hello, there we go. Thank you. Bear that in mind, that holding things up to the camera makes it go out of focus and stay out of focus. Dino Dudes. That's it for Jag stuff. There's a bit of an Atari theme here, which is no surprise really because I'm a massive Atari fan. Lynx stuff now. Ishido, and that's sealed. Crystal Mines 2, again sealed. A lot of these will be busted open, by the way. Anything I want to play, I'll just bust it open. I've got no interest in sealed stuff, in all fairness. Turbo Sub. I usually buy things to play, so when I get round to playing them, they'll be busted out of their packets. Kung Food. Well, that one's not sealed, so I'm not going to have any problem with playing that one. European Soccer Challenge. Again, not sealed, that one. Squeak. That one's sealed. Switchblade 2. Again, that one's sealed. Pit Fighter. Not the greatest of games. Especially bad on the Lynx, I think, but hey. And that's sealed again. Gates of Zendikon, one of the best games you can get for the Lynx, in my opinion. Box sealed. And Hydra. And that's boxed in like a blister package, which is interesting. I also managed to get myself another Lynx. I've got a standard Lynx, and I've got this Batman Returns Lynx now. Basically the only difference between this and the standard Lynx is they've put, this is a sticker, this bit here. So they just basically stuck a sticker onto the original box and packed in a Batman game, Batman Returns game. So that's it. And that's in lovely working condition. Staying with Atari. Open that there a sec. I collect boxed games. So I've got, believe it or not, I hadn't got Box Defender. I got it loose. Video pinball. Some of these boxes aren't great, but they display all right. Street Racer, basic computer programming cartridge. I haven't got the keyboard yet for that, but I am looking for one. If anybody's got one, let me know. Skydiver, Circus Atari, which I had already got, but this box is slightly better. That was actually quite a good box. And a random Intellivision game for some reason. Got Mazetron for the Intellivision. Forgot I got that. So do collect for Intellivision 2, and also collect for Video Pack, and that one's number 37. Cheers, Monkey Shines. Bit more, one of the more unusual ones. Sticking with Atari. I've got a lot of Atari stuff. Got some nice 5200 games here. So I've got Dig Dug. Unfortunately, minus the overlay. got pole position, again minus the overlays. For those who don't know, the overlays usually slot in this handy little area here on the back of the cartridge, which is quite cool. You'd think, you know, with that being there on the back of the cartridge, that a lot of these overlays would have survived and stayed with the cartridge, but no. You rarely get the overlays with them. Frogger, Parker Brothers style cartridge, because it's from Parker Brothers. Defender. A lot of these pretty run-of-the-mill stuff for the 5200, nothing unusual here. Joust. Another Parker Brothers Cubert. Jungle Hunt. That's a cracking game on the 5200. Really like that one. Yeah, Pac-Man's a good version as well. That's Ms. Pac-Man. None of these have got their inlays. Space Dungeon, yet to play that one on the 5200. And Quicks. And look, those are the inlays I'm talking about. They just fit into the controller, but they also slot into the back of the cartridge when you finish with them, which is quite cool. I've got this 2600 cartridge purely and simply because it was a Singaporean one. So it's Atari Lynx. I looked that up and found out that that's what they were released as in Singapore. I mean, it's literally just a PAL cartridge, so it's just like a UK cartridge with a Hinseng sticker on. So that's not a special label, it's just a sticker. That white bit there is just a sticker on top of the label, which is quite interesting. What else did I get? Oh, look at these, check these bad boys out. Remote control wireless joysticks. Now these are something else. I've got to show you these. You imagine these things full of batteries, they weigh a ton. I'm sorry, they're just ridiculous. They've got a great big massive aerial on them, they're that thick. That's a wireless controller from the 70s, folks. Absolutely awesome. So you have this thing, Game Mate box that you plugged into your 2600 and then extend the aerial like that. That's transmitting, or receiving shall I say. These are transmitting. And I bet the batteries only lasted about 5 minutes on them as well, which is the worst of it. I don't know how many batteries they take. Absolute load by the looks of it. Oh no, actually they don't. These only take one of those little square batteries, PP9s I think, are they? What does this do? Oh no, that's got a pass through for the power, so you plug your Atari power adapter into there and it's got a pass through to the Atari itself. That's interesting. So actually now they don't take a lot of batteries. I bet that PP9 didn't last long in there though. I bet you got through a few PP9s, and if I remember rightly, back in the 70s the PP9s were fairly expensive batteries to buy. So yeah, interesting stuff. Bit of history, but I don't think I'm going to be playing with them anytime soon, to be honest. If I can put it back in the box now. Oh, that's done. Hey, first time. Me and boxes don't get on. If I take something out of a box, I can't get things back in there again afterwards usually. But success in that instance. And I got this to replace the Vader I already had, which was in a really tatty box. This one's not perfect, but it's not a bad box at all. And that's just your standard 4-switch Vader in there, so it's not bad. Comes with all the inners and everything it should do, so I'm quite pleased with that. I might have to put the camera and the monitor in the same place, because I've just realised that for the entire video I've been looking down at the monitor, I'm not looking at you. I'm going to have to put the monitor up there somewhere so I can look at myself, see what I've got on the screen, and look like I'm looking at you and talking to you at the same time. Because at the moment I'm talking to somebody down there, but I'm not, I'm talking to you. Silly, silly, silly. Like I said, professional as always. One of the favourite things that I've bought in the last, however long it's been since my last video, is this ZX81. The German version with Albert on it. It's quite cool. Just a standard ZX81 with a European power supply, in all fairness, and a German handbook, but in a cool box. Really nice condition, so that'll go proudly on display once I've sorted my room out. Go on display, you can't see them because they're behind the camera, but I've got all my Sinclair stuff over there. It'll go with my my Timex 1000, my kit ZX81, my normal ZX81, and this will go with those. So really proud and happy to get that one. I'm coming to the end of hardware, I think now. No, sorry. I bought this, a little bit of a curiosity from, well, it originates from the United States. It's called the Cradle, and you sit a Timex 1000 inside it, and it basically gives it a lot more capabilities. I mean, not only like a mechanical keyboard or semi-mechanical keyboard, but it's got sort of banked memory and everything in it. So I've still got to find out exactly what it does, but I think it does a lot of weird and wonderful things. Got a joystick port. It basically takes over a lot of the functions of the computer and it extends them. So I'll have to figure out what that is and do an individual video on that, I think, because that's an interesting bit of kit. It's filthy because it's been sitting up here for so long doing nothing. But that came boxed with instructions and extra gubbins. Oh look, they even put some spare resistors in here for some reason. Yeah, Cradle by K2 Electronics Design Corporation, Varsity Drive, Ann Arbor, Michigan. So there. Interesting stuff, something a bit unusual. Talking of fairly unusual, stay with me while I knock over my pile unintentionally. Something unusual is right here. Oh, it's heavy. This is a Vigeland, I don't know how to pronounce it, case for BBC. Basically you bought the case and this keyboard, or the case for the keyboard. You transferred your BBC board into this case and it gave you the capability of putting two Vigeland drives in the front of it, two disk drives. and you transferred the keyboard part of it into this portable, semi-portable, still attached but movable keyboard yourself. So you bought this as a kit, and then you transferred your BBC internals into these cases. It just gives you the ability to put disk drives in. Unfortunately, nobody put a disk drive in this one, so I've got to try and find a couple of Vigilant disk drives that will fit. So if any Beeb fans who are watching who've got some Vigilant drives that they know will fit into these sockets, please let me know, because I'd love to get this up and running with a couple of disk drives. Cool bit of kit though, that. I like that. I saw that for sale and I knew I had to have it. Another bit of hardware. I said I'd finish with the hardware, but I actually just found a load more. Bit of hardware. I say bit of hardware, it's heavy. It's a nice 1970s. I'm looking at the wrong place again. 1970s. It's a TV-RC 7D Plustron. It combines a cassette recorder with a television and a radio, and it works perfectly. I bought it mainly to sort of run a ZX80 or a ZX81 on, because I think it'd look quite cool paired up to this, because it's from sort of the same era, late 70s, early 80s. It works, but I haven't actually paired it up yet. I'll have to do a video when I do. It'll be quite cool to see them together. Like I say, they're from the same era, so they'll pair up quite nicely. Where I'm going to put it in here, I've got no idea. I'll find somewhere, I'm sure. I'll have to extend the loft. I'll have to have a dormer extension or something. It's just gone crazy. What else have I got? Bits and bobs. What's that? Oh, an AGF programmable interface from a ZX81. Boxed. You see that? It's cool. That came with all the little cards, etc. and instructions. Boxed complete. Came in its mailer box. I also got some books. ZX81 basic book. What can I do with 1K? 40 programs and routines for the 1K Sinclair ZX81. Oh, one of my favourites. Really nice condition copy of Hints and Tips for the ZX81 by the Hewson Consultants. Hewson. I always say Hewson, but I think it's supposed to be Hewson. Hewson Consultants. Cambridge Collection, 30 programs for the ZX81. There's a theme here. Understanding your ZX81 ROM by Dr. Ian Logan. Right. On to software. Excuse me. Grab a sip of tea. As I say, professional as ever. Supping tea halfway through. Precariously perched that on my PC engine. Probably not a good idea. But I'm not going to do all these individually, because oh, stuff it, I will. Right, I collect, or I've started collecting automata stuff. So there's Pioneer. These are all for the Spectrum. Dots. Piebald. 10 pack. That's yeah, that's for Spectrum. Pioneered. That one's signed by Mel Croucher, which is rather cool. Mice Bikers. Mice Meets the Bikers. I knew that was one. Auto Monopoly, which was later changed to, due to copyright issues, I would imagine, by using the name Monopoly, even though it's spelled differently, go to jail. So it's the same game, and yet again the same game, but in with the colour, full colour inlay. Pie Mania. Oh, this one's called My Name is Uncle Groucho, You Win a Fat Cigar. Mel, how did you come up with these things? Pyromania. Bit of an unusual one, this one. I didn't know this existed until sort of 6 months back, and then I had to have one, so I searched and I found one quite easily actually, but I honestly didn't know it even existed. Psychedelia by Jeff Minter, Llamasoft, and that's for the ZX Spectrum. It's basically it says on it, a light synthesizer. So the bump inside says, an entertainment by Jeff Minter. An explanation of the concept. Psychedelia is really the culmination of several months of idle thinking. I love games, but occasionally I think there must be some other way of enjoying yourself using a computer. So basically it's a light show to music on the screen. That's controlled by key presses, which change the style of the patterns on the screen or something. I haven't used it yet, but I'm intrigued to, when I've got the room sorted and I can actually get a Spectrum on, I'm intrigued to see what that is exactly. I know he did it for the Commodore and I think Amstrad as well, I'm not sure. So but I thought, you know, light show for the ZX Spectrum sounds interesting. I'll get one, as you do. Robot One, Planet of Death, a new homebrew by Cytronic. Well, I think it's from Matt Ricardo actually, but marketed and made by Cytronic. Chipperdoom, same person. Another homebrew by John Blythe, All Hallows. I got myself a new Alchemist, but not any old Alchemist, the gold inlay one, gold case one, the gold cassette. The one I had was all scratched and brown. If you've ever owned one of these, you'll know that the paint on the gold paint on these comes off really easily. You've only got to touch it and it comes off. So to find one that hasn't been scratched and nibbled at, it's quite unusual. But this one's in really good nick, so I was really happy to get that one. So I do love the gold Alchemist thing. It's something a bit special. I collect anything by Quicksilver, so I finally got Pro Darts for the Spectrum, and I also got Skyhawk for the VIC-20, Quintic Warrior for the Commodore 64, Tornado for VIC-20, and now Boogaboo the Flea for the Commodore 64. For the Spectrum it's Bugaboo the Flea, and for the Commodore 64 it's Boogaboo the Flea Anybody got any explanation for that? So I've got no idea why they were called different things. Not a clue. ZX81 stuff. Now, as you might guess, I've got more ZX81 stuff than anything else. So I'll start off with a few new titles. Tut Tut. Some Chronosoft. One Little Ghost. That's by Bob Smith, and again produced by Chronosoft. The Game compilation, Craps, Blackjack, Guesser and Tic-Tac-Toe. That's another new one. Onto the old stuff. Star Soccer for the ZX81. These are all for the ZX81 from now on. Avenger. Now I couldn't tell whether this was a really early Abacus inlay or whether it was a homebrew. But I think that's just something somebody's made, but I think that's really cool. Maybe you can see that. It's all been letrasetted out, really nice and neat. And they've even put instructions on the inside of the inlay in letraset by the looks of it. So, I mean, to me that is just so sort of indicative of the early 80s, the late 70s, early 80s homebrew scene. Even though it's a rip-off, you know, somebody who got a copy of Avenger, later put a proper cassette in, but originally probably just had a copy, made his own, printed out his own thing on a ZX printer, printed out his own picture on a ZX printer and stuck it onto an inlay. You know, I think that's just fantastic. So that's going in my collection, even though it's a copy. Still an interesting one. Cross Country. This one's interesting. It's like an early sort of flight simulator, but for a glider, not for powered flight. So it's called Cross Country: The Final Glide, and it's from JSW Soaring Limited. And that's again Navigation Ground School and Final Glide, two games on that. But that's I've never seen another one of those ever, so I would imagine that's quite rare. I've got Arctic Bug, or ZX Bug, shall I say. It's version 3.125. Another Arctic Bug somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah. Another Arctic Bug. This one's sealed, and this one's a blue version. It's still the same 3.125, but with a blue inlay. JRS Software fast load system. Prog Merge by ACS Software. ZX81 Toolkit by Arctic Computing. Pilot by Houston Consultants. Galaxy Jailbreak by Romic. Basic Code 2, which I think came with a book, and there are programs for VIC-20, BBC, ZX81, all sorts on here. Apple II, BBC, Colour Genie, Commodore PET, Commodore 64, VIC-20, Sharp MZ80s, ZX81s, TRS-80s. So yeah, all the early micros are represented on there. Muncher, Silversoft. I've got Adventure by Bug Bite. I'd already got this one, but this one's a variant, slightly different inlay on this one. This one's got a black and white bug on it. The one I got already had a colour bug on there. So an interesting variant for us nerds that collect variants. Using Consultants Programmers Toolkit with instructions. That's quite a rarity. Bug Bite Star Trek. Some Italian magazine tapes for the ZX81. Sorry, yeah they are. Yeah, ZX8. Yeah, the ZX81 and ZX Spectrum. Algor software. This one's Mines and Monsters and Stock Market. This one's Algor software, and that one's Shelob's Lair and Economy. So it looks like they put a game and a utility on each one, which is interesting. Oh, another Algor one here. Cheops 2 and Commodity. A few more homebrews, and then I think we're pretty much done. Well, no, we're not done. We'll go downstairs and see my biggest pickup. Z Invaders, or Zinvaders. The Chronosoft title. Burr ZX Zerk. And last but not least, because it's a fantastic game, Chronosoft Virus. That one's another Bob Stuff game, I think, if I remember rightly. Fantastic, really polished, fast moving. It's just a brilliant game. If you've got a ZX81 or access to a ZX81 emulator, you've got to play Virus by Bob Smith. If you search online for Bob Stuff, I think it's bobstuff.co.uk, you'll find his stuff downloadable from his website. Another little bit of hardware I've just spotted. I told you I've got stuff everywhere. This is a ZX Duino, I think he calls them. Basically this goes onto the side, it attaches via the case screws onto the side of a ZX Spectrum Plus, and allows you to, it's basically a TZX Duino in a case that makes it look a bit neater, and you can keep attached to your Spectrum. Quite a good bit of kit actually. I should, if I was being professional, I should have reattached it to the Spectrum, but maybe do another video just on that if there's any interest. Anybody else want to see the ZX Duino? Or the Spectruino? Is it called Spectruino? Oh, I should have looked into this beforehand. ZX Spectruino or something? Oh, I don't know. I'll put it down below anyway, and you'll see. It's basically just a USB lead for power, and then you've got the audio lead for playing the TZX Duino into your Spectrum. Good bit of kit. I'm not sure whether I've featured this before or not, but I managed to get hold of a memo pack keyboard for the ZX81. I can't remember whether I did it in a previous video. If I didn't, there it is. Finally got one. And I think that's about it. So we're off downstairs now to see the my pride and joy. See you in a bit, folks. Hi folks, we're now in the lounge. This is my latest pickup. Hang on a second, let's get back to the menu. This is my latest gadget, big gadget. Sits in the lounge. My wife was very tolerant when I told her I was going to have an arcade cabinet. She was actually okay with it, and she actually plays on it, which is cool. She likes the really old stuff. Yeah, basically it's got a currently got a Game Elf in it. It came with a Pandora's box, which I still use. I've got it set up inside so I can swap boards quite easily. I like the Game Elf because it's a hacked board, and I can use various SD cards packed full of games. It's basically MAME on a board, so it just uses MAME and emulates arcade games that way. In that sense, it's fairly accurate. Some of the games aren't bang on. Sound especially, sound can be really ropey on some of the games. Same on the Pandora's box. The games are proper ropey. But yeah, I got this from Craig at Turn Arcades, and he did me a really good deal on it. It's in great nick. I've done a little bit of restoration on it myself. I took the coin door off, stripped it right back with paint stripper, repainted it in the original sort of textured, like Hammerite type paint, spray paint. I redid the coin mechanism, so it's all lit up and everything now, and works perfectly. I can set this to play for coins or free play. Obviously, when sort of relatives come round, I set it to coin play. When friends come round, I set it to free play. No, it's always set to free play. Although, you know, kids could put their pocket money. I could get the pocket money back, couldn't I? It would be a good idea. I might do that. Yeah, like I say, emulation's not perfect on it. It's got problems with sound on some of the games, but most of the games play pretty good. Not that you'd know unless you're an expert, to be honest, that they weren't perfect. Wonder Boy's one of them, actually. It plays really well. Yeah, I've got this currently set up with a Game Elf. The Game Elf is different to the Pandora box in the sense that you can change the SD cards on it quite easily. And I also rigged it up so that I've got this external SD card reader extender on it. So I can just literally pop the card out whenever I want and pop another one in with extra games on. So if I ever get any extra games, I've got 3 SD cards that I can use on it currently, and I think there's about 900 games in total that I can pick from over the 3 cards. The Pandora's box has got 465 games on it, if I remember rightly. Some are different to the ones that I've got on here, so if I fancy something off there like Moon Cresta or something like that, which is on the Pandora's box but isn't on here, then I'll just swap the boards over. But yeah, a great addition to my collection. It's a genuine, you know, I was quite sort of insistent that I didn't want sort of a modern MDF copy of one, because it wouldn't feel authentic to me, because I used the arcades back in the 80s. You know, I played on things like Jet Bomber and Killer Shark and things, you know, some stuff that's really old, because I'm old. So I've got I wanted the feel of a proper arcade machine. You know, it's proper solid. This is a metal control panel, you know, and I remember these actual machines, these Win4 arcade machines, being in some of the arcades I've been in the past. So I actually remember this the Hypno Cab, I think they call it, style of artwork on it. I actually remember it. So I wanted something to feel like I was back in the 80s playing on an arcade machine again. In that sense, I also asked to have a proper CRT put in. I can see scan lines on here, you know, and that makes all the difference to me. I know you can see scan lines through MAME on an LCD, but you've got a slight curve to the screen, and it just doesn't look right on an LCD. I'm sorry. There's nothing can beat playing arcade games on a proper CRT. I'll probably have lots of comments saying, "No, you know, it's fine on an LCD. You can make it look like an arcade." No. Not to me, not to somebody who was there in the 80s playing on arcade machines. This is the business. It feels like I'm back in the 80s again. The kids love it, absolutely love it. Like I say, the wife plays it. She's well, absolutely gobsmacked that she. I mean, she's younger than me, not by a lot, but she's you know, sort of 7 years younger than me, and. She played in arcades, but sort of almost a decade later than I did. But she absolutely loves it, and she loves the old stuff as well, which is cool. But yeah, it's got quite a handy. You just hold down player 1 button, and you get back to the menu, which has got sort of screenshots here to show you the games. I mean, there's all sorts on here. One of my favourites, and always has been, since I played it in the chip shop down Oldale when I was a kid, Hyper Olympics. And this plays beautifully on here, really, really well. Eventually, I'm wondering whether to change the artwork on the cab. I'll probably keep this artwork and keep the control panel, but have another one made up so I can change the artwork on it maybe, and I might do it to look like a replica sort of track and field or Hyper Olympic or something, just for a change. I love this style. Like I say, I remember these being in the arcade, so it's like ultra authentic for me. But yeah, it might be nice to tart up, because these are just plain grey sides on this, and it might be nice to have some artwork on there maybe, just to, you know, make it look a bit more flashy. I don't know, I might leave it as it is, I might not bother. But yeah, I've done a few bits and bobs on it. Did the coin door, also did the marquee retainers. They were all rusty, so I stripped those back. I also replaced the rubber matting at the bottom. There were a couple of studs on the side, I don't know, you can see one just up there that had gone rusty, so I took them out, stripped them down, repainted those, replaced the one player, two player buttons because they were slightly worn, just generally cleaned it up inside, and it's as good as new now, so that's it. That's my final pickup for this video. I probably bored you all to death with a super long video, but I'm making up for not doing a video for so long now. So hopefully I'll see you guys and girls soon. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll be back with another video on a slightly different theme. It'll be the kids doing a review of a certain arcade game, which I've already shot, and I've got to edit that and get it up after this video. So it shouldn't be too long, and you'll have 2 videos in the space of a week where you haven't had a video for years off me. So yay, I'm back. See you later, kids. Bye bye.